Miami, you're talking Super Bowl, 'cause we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins #1. Yes, we're the
Good evening, Dolphins fans. Welcome to another episode of the best, most positive Dolphins show on all the internet, the Fins Bandwagon. Good evening, Dolphin fans. It's been a long time. Welcome to another episode of the most positive Dolphin show on the internet, the Fins Bandwagon. Pops, Hank, I missed you. I feel like it's been forever. How you doing?
It has been a little bit,
Yeah.
I was a little sick a week ago, so
And then my son got sick, so it didn't help matters. So,
yeah, it wasn't good, but now I'm good to go, and
Yeah. Yeah, my son too, which is he was a little under the weather. That's why I appreciate everyone understanding that we missed a week. Hey, sometimes the bandwagon needs to go in for a tune-up once in a while. You know, when you do all those miles, winning all those games, sometimes you have to go and get your car inspected, and that's what the bandwagon had to do for about a week. But guys, thank you, Ender. Thank you, Thirsty. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Bobby. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. The graphic hasn't been made yet by Bobby, but I know the great news, since I didn't get to announce it first last week, that we're now sponsored by Caneswear. I love that store. If you need any feedback, shoot me up on X. It's the best store. I love it. It's the best. Hit it up. They're great people there. So Hank, it's been a week for me, but yeah. I must say, with all of the sickness that was going on between you and me, the one thing that actually made me feel better was last week. In all my years of watching football, and I'm sure for you too, because you haven't had an opportunity to talk about this, that was the greatest bye week I've ever experienced as a Miami Dolphins fan. Every game that we watched or got to check the score on, the Miami Dolphins benefited. There was not one game that took place where we said, oh my God, that's going to hurt the Miami Dolphins. And watching each and every team, starting with the Patriots, then the Jets, and then the icing on the cake, the Buffalo Bills. For me, I had so much joy. How was last weekend football for you while you were
the same? I was right there, the same as you. Just living it up, watching other teams go down.
It was one after the other. Nothing could have.
Hey, I had, it's not like I planned doom and gloom on them. It just happened. Yeah. So I just sat back and enjoyed the ride.
Yeah, it was. But honestly, I think it was on Monday night. My kid wasn't doing that great. I was dealing with some other things at the same time, and I was watching that game. And I said to myself, man, these Denver Broncos really, really, really suck. I don't want to hear what anybody has to say. They really, really, really suck. But the Buffalo Bills are just as bad. Like, this is a team that we put 70 on. I want to give you perspective. Their average yards that they started with the ball with 4 turnovers was on the 46, their own 46. They converted 6 points. Imagine you gave the Miami Dolphins the 46-yard line on every single drive. Can you imagine?
Oh boy, it would get ugly.
And honestly, I don't know if you guys tried to see the highlights, what people post on Twitter, watching Kyle Brandt, who's a big Josh Allen guy, like on live with the Mannings, watching that happen. It was just unbelievable. It was just absolutely unbelievable.
That was funny.
It was just funny. It just
Kyle Brandt, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's very hilarious. And poor guy, yeah. And the best was the meme. The next day when Ken Dorsey got fired, they re-showed that thing when he lost to the Dolphins in Week 3 last year with him breaking all. He was the scapegoat. Like that's a sign McDermott is close to losing his job. When you start firing your coordinators mid-season, there's a problem.
Yeah, and you're firing them because your quarterback is throwing interceptions. Yeah. It doesn't make sense, but okay.
Exactly. That's his fault. So honestly, it couldn't have gone better. And then to top it all off, I know because we've experienced it here. Last night, Lamar Jackson made it through the game, but he doesn't look 100%. Mark Andrews, who's like the second to Travis Kelce, he's out for the season.
Yeah,
major weapon that the Ravens are not going to have the rest of the year. And ESPN is now they're investigating this, the NFL, but Joe Burrow should not have been playing that football game, and now he's gone for the year. So it doesn't sound – we never want any quarterback to get injured, but this entire week has really benefited the Miami Dolphins in the grand scheme of the fact that anything that could have gone wrong for teams went wrong for the Miami Dolphins. Like, how are you feeling as a Miami Dolphins fan on this bye week?
Well, I feel pretty good because, it gave our guys some needed rest. We're at the midway season, perfect time for a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and we have some important games that are still coming up. And, I don't know if we're taking a look at those tonight or what.
We are. We're going to. We're going to get there because I haven't had a chance to. But all two nights in a row with Evan. Yeah. So I want to give you a little feedback. So last night, to help go after battered Fins fans, which is Manny in that group, I had the opportunity at one point because they had asked me weeks ago to jump on their show. And I really went at the Jets fan and how they're going after the defense. I was very challenging. You really got a breath of fresh air, sort of a preview of the bandwagon. It was a lot of fun. And to answer Thirsty's question, I'm wearing contacts. I do have contacts. It's just when I'm looking at a screen all day, I don't like to wear contacts, but I'm coming from playing on the ice with my kid for his hockey, and I wear contacts on the ice, so I don't have to wear glasses. They fog up. It's all good. So heading into this week, a few changes. So Robbie Chosen has been cut. Hopefully he'll make waivers. I'm not sure if that was fully announced yet. What was your reaction to Robbie Chosen being cut and waived?
Hey, you have other players on there. You have Chase Claypool. I mean, I think Chase Claypool's a nice upgrade.
Yeah, for sure. But actually, yes, but he's actually injured. He's actually just had a procedure on his knee.
Who?
He actually just had surgery today, and he's actually going to be out. We don't know how long he's going to be out yet. I think it's week to week, but he just had a small procedure on his knee, so he's not going to be playing.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But,
yeah. Okay. So, but in the end, hopefully he hits the roster. Who knows? I doubt anybody's really going to sign him at this point. So hopefully he makes it back onto our roster. And we should have a problem because Craycraft should be making his way back at some point. And we have our other receivers, and Cedric Wilson's been playing well. Barrios is fine. You have Waddle. You have Hill. So we have a good core there that could do their job for the time being, right? One thing that I think that we've all had the chance to, I guess, have a chance to react to this week. I guess we'll get it out of the way before we talk about the games. What do you think about our new quarterback, Drake? What was your reaction when you saw Tua come back from the bye week with corn rolls? Have you ever tried to do corn rolls? You and me. I think between the two of us, I don't think we can make one corn roll. What was your thought on that new hairdo of Tua? What was your reaction when you saw that?
I didn't really pay any attention to his hairdo, to be totally honest.
You didn't notice all the braids? You didn't notice his braids?
No.
Really?
No.
Go look after. The week off, his hair was, remember on the sidelines, his hair was doing this? He decided instead of cutting it, he did braids. So he has corn rolls in his hair. So he looks like a rapper. He looks more salty. He looks a little more edgy. It's really, really, really cool.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to stuff like that.
Really? It was viral because everyone says he looked like Drake. And then during the press conference, he started singing Drake's song and dancing. Like, Tua has personality. Like, honestly, he has personality.
So he's out there getting a little saucy for everybody.
He's getting saucy, which is phenomenal, right? Which is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So one thing, so let's talk about the offense. So heading into Thanksgiving next week, I actually said that it's time for the Miami Dolphins offense to start carving people up. And I made a very brash statement that the next 5 weeks should be like, and Thursday to say I'm going to jinx it, should be like 5 bye weeks for them. I expect them to have 11 wins by the time you go at the Cowboys game of Christmas Eve. This offense has poo-pooed enough games this season where the defense has given them opportunities to win. And now I believe the secret weapon of Achane is coming back. Hill is going to be angry. Tua's had to let this simmer for 2 weeks on what him and Connor Williams did on that last drive, and Cedric Wilson in that group. I think it's time that they're really going to carve them up, and I really think that this Sunday is going to be a rude awakening for the Raiders. What are your thoughts on the offense right now? What are your expectations for the next 5 weeks as they face these below average teams?
Well, first off, during this time off, I really hope that Connor Williams and
Tua.
I hope Connor stayed over to his house for this past week off and hiked the ball like every day, every night. Woke up, had a cup of coffee, go hike the ball.
Yeah.
Take a break, take lunch, go back out, hike the ball. Go have dinner, go back out, do that every day. No.
Yeah.
I just, that's one thing, when you're playing these teams that are the upper echelon, which we're going to be playing some of them, when you're playing them, you make those one little mistakes and it costs you games, especially, a crazy hike or something like that. And it showed this time around. We missed the ball was hiked and they weren't on the same page again. And, we might have won the game. You never know. You never know. So
100%. I believe that for Tua, Tyreek, and the offensive core, we'll get to the offensive line shortly. There's a bit of salting. There's a bit of anger there. They may show it off that they're very happy and friendly, but they want to win. They know right now when the Bills lost this past weekend, the fact that the Jets can't score, the fact that all these teams are fumbling, this is their opportunity, coming back as healthy as they are, to really put their stamp on this. Things could not fall better for them over the next 5 weeks to have to face it. They don't have to face a murderer's row of football teams.
No, they come back do their job. Like that Raiders game. That's a nice opportunity to get your stuff in one sock before you take on the remainder of the season too. Yeah. So hopefully, they'll come out on fire with that against them, and that'll start it all rolling.
100%. Antonio Pierce has done a great job. They are smoking cigars, but they're averaging 16 points a game.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins offense should be able to score 16 points in the first 10 minutes of a football game. It's not even funny the way that they play with the with the weapons that they have. How excited are you that Devon Achane and might be back on that field on Sunday? I think he's going to be.
Achane, I'm looking forward to it. If he's out there running around, which it seems like he will be.
Yeah, he has to be.
Wow, you're gonna. I already think that our offense is going to be better when we come back to begin with, and then you're adding pieces to it. So. I don't remember if Brooks was coming back.
No, not yet. Not yet.
I didn't remember what.
No, it's going to be just Mostert, Wilson, and Achane.
Okay. Yeah. Mostert, Wilson, and Achane. I think it'll be great back there. Once again, just the combination of speed that you have, it's unbelievable. And then if you take the two wideouts and split them both out.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Just mind blowing.
Yeah, and I think Mostert also is coming over a little bit of an injury. He's I do believe, even though he's healthy, I think there will be an even keel, but I think Achane is going to blow up. I already made a prediction if and when he plays, he's going to score 3 touchdowns. I think he's just going to he knew, because you want to know what? If he would never have got injured, I think he'd be the leading rusher in the NFL. The guy had 8 touchdowns in 3 games. The guy has just been and also Mike McDaniel. I know he likes Raheem Mostert. He loves Devon Achane. You
got to remember, and they might also get a lead on the Raiders and run the ball like crazy.
Let me ask you something. This is what I want to, before I forget to ask. A really simple question. What are your thoughts? It happened in the Chiefs game. What are your thoughts that the Dolphins, with their kind of offense that they have, why not give your defense a lead? Why not take the ball and just run it down the other team's throat and put 7 up? What are your thoughts on always kicking? Last year we could never win a toss and we were always receiving the ball. What are your thoughts on the strategy of winning the toss but actually taking the ball? What are your thoughts on that?
Most teams do it. You know what I mean? So there must be something about it does benefit you. If you having a crappy first half and you come out in the second half and you start with the ball, that could get your whole team started on another roll. Yeah. So I go with the majority of what people were doing is what I would do.
Okay. So Tua, they got asked to me last night. Do you think with what the way the team has been playing and what's coming up over the next 5 games, can Tua over the next 5 games bring himself back into the MVP conversation? Yes or no, and why?
Absolutely. I mean, we're only halfway through the season. We have a lot of ball left to play, a whole lot. And, we faced our hardest teams first. We're not facing our hardest teams last.
Yeah.
We are going to face some teams that can put up some points and that have great defenses. It's going to happen. Hopefully our team, plays through all that. And I think they will. I think we're going to do good this second half.
What chance do you give give a percentage that he can win MVP right now? Well, if you had to hedge your bet, is it a 25% chance? Is it a 10% chance? Like, what are your thoughts on Tua?
75.
How much?
75.
Good for you. I agree with you. I think this next few weeks, I think he knows what happened last game. You want to know, good for him. He's not.
He's at 75 now, but he can go up to a full 100%.
Good for you. I agree with you. Good for you. Thirsty spending $3.72. A super duper chat. Oh, what a beautiful chat! Way to go! Would you, as the host of the show, as the co-host of the show, do we get like at least a penny of that? We'll see. Let's talk about the offensive line. So, who would have thought this offensive line would be as good as it has been throughout this season? Considering we've played 10 starters, but the Liam Eichenberg Express. When he first was a rookie, it was left tackle. Then it was right tackle. Then it was left guard. Then it was center. Now Robert Hunt's not playing this weekend because they're giving him a rest. Guess who's playing right guard?
Oh.
The kid has literally played every tackle, every position on this offensive line, and Mike McDaniel today called him a warrior. Like he was like salivating on how hard he's worked. Like they really believe in this kid. Like, how do you feel about having those two rookies, those two youngins who are now third and fourth year players, in Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg guarding your right side? Hopefully Max Crosby, on the blind side, where maybe Max Crosby might be playing. What are your thoughts on the guy who has 9.5 sacks, mind you? How do you feel about that?
I like it.
Why is that? Tell me why you like it.
I like it.
Tell me why you like it.
Let me tell you why I like it. Because if the coaches are saying that he's working really hard and things are looking good, you got to take it for what it's worth. And once again, I don't, even though it's his blind side, I don't worry as much about his right side because he rolls out to his left.
Yes, really quickly.
And because of that, I just, I understand it's his blind side, but he steps up in the pocket when he hears and feels that pressure coming up. He steps up in the pocket like he should. He bounces out of there when he knows he's going to need to roll out and throw the ball. He bounces out of there and rolls to his left. So I'm not that concerned anymore. I'd rather have Hunt there, of course. But what are you going to do? You have Eichenberg. What's your other option?
Keon Smith. Or you could. The problem is Keon Smith and Kendall Lamb are natural tackles. So that's why it's hard to. They're running out of guards.
Yeah,
but
so
hopefully he does his job.
I like the fact that we at least have a player to plug in there. Where last year we didn't even have a player to plug in there.
It's just so funny. No matter what we do, even if this was the number 1 ranked offensive line, we'd still be nervous. It's phenomenal. Yes. Austin Jackson has been a revelation. McDaniel was talking about how he's taken all of this criticism and continued to persevere. We are all still nervous about this offensive line, and we still somehow survived these games. It's absolutely incredible what Barry and Frank Smith have done, because it's like we're never going to trust this offensive line, but they continue to survive. Like it's just they don't give up. They just don't give up. It's phenomenal.
No. And that's why I say if he's fighting hard. They said Jackson was working hard during the offseason too, that they liked what they saw from him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's been out there at right tackle. I mean, he hasn't totally sucked.
I love Aladino. He always agrees with me. I love it. The Raiders have the 29th ranked offensive the run defense. Max Crosby is a bully. Like that's a guy we'd all love to have on our team. Heading in there Sunday, I hope you're hoping that that with Achan there that they and with Mostert there that you get to see a balanced attack and that they're not becoming a prisoner of the passing game.
I think they're going to run it down their throat.
Yeah.
To be totally honest with you, I think Miami's going to come out with a run game ready for the Raiders.
I think they're going to gas them because in those black uniforms, in that sun, in that heat, I think they're just going to run it down their throat.
Yeah, I just have a feeling. I mean, but you also have explosive plays too.
Yeah.
It depends on, their defensive line is going to dictate a lot. Their defensive line, and like you said, what Crosby can or can't do is going to determine a lot of what we do too, but I still think they're going to go run heavy. I mean, they are, what you just said, at 29th against
29th ranked run defense.
Yeah. I mean, you got to run. I mean, come on. Everything points to we're going to run the ball. Mm-hmm. So I hope that we run the ball.
The offensive line.
Because we all thought that last year.
Too. So an area, I think, because you're one of the most positive, most wonderful people I've ever met. But you're phenomenal. But the one area that you always give me pause is that even though they've gone in the last 2 weeks from the 25th ranked defense to the 12th ranked defense, you still have a bit of a pause.
Yes.
Now, last time you and I spoke, the defense was we hadn't spoken. That game had happened. We hadn't spoken since. The defense was a night like a warm knife through butter on that first drive. But in that second, they only gave up 14 points. They held Travis Kelce to 2 receptions at 14 yards.
Yeah.
They gave up no points in the second half.
Kansas City knows how to close games.
If I were to say to you that the defense is going to be between the 5th and 7th ranked defense by the time we get to the Dallas game on Christmas Eve, tell me I'm crazy or tell me you actually believe me.
You know what's scary?
Yeah.
They could be there before that.
So tell me how you're feeling about the defense now, going into this game.
I feel much better than I felt all season with the fact that we have players back and they've had a week to actually acclimate, not just be back. Okay, now you're thrown into it. They got a few hits in them. They got their, juices going. So now they're ready. They're back in the rig again. They practice and plays. They finally get on the field where a lot of them were sitting out on the sidelines. So, I mean, it's got to be invigorating for the rest of the team also because then you have fresh bodies coming in. Yeah. So I like it. I think the defense, though, the defense has more upside to it than the offense does right now in the season. I think the defense can still achieve more than the offense can. Yeah. The offense, offense can score around 40 points at any point in the game. Now, if you think that they can score higher than that at any point in the game, I think around 40 points is about what our team can score on any given Sunday. They throw up a 70 burger, but we know the reality. But they're a good enough team to throw up 40. Can we say our defense will shut teams down to a field goal per quarter? Can we say we're only going to shut them down to 3 scores a game? No, we can't really say that right now. No, we can't. But will we be able to? I think so. And I think so quickly because with that secondary shored up a little bit now, I really think that dictates a lot on that defensive line that they haven't really been able to fully do that I think they're going to get to do when we come back. You know what I mean?
100%. And Jaylen Ramsey even said today, and the best thing about Jaylen Ramsey, and you saw it in the Kansas City game, when you don't hear from Jaylen Ramsey, it means he's doing his job because they're never going that way.
Yeah.
He even said he's on 100% back. But to have him and X, for me, the one positive I expect to see, and I expect to see it on Sunday, and I think you're gonna shake your head and agree with me, they need to start getting consistent turnovers. They need to get
Yes.
1 to 3, like 2 to 3 turnovers a game, especially against maligned quarterbacks. We're not going off, or the next 5 weeks, we're not going against a murderer's row of quarterbacks. We're going against Aiden O'Connell, Zach Wilson, Sam Howell, Will Levis, and Zach Wilson. Okay, like it's not like you're going after the murderer's row of quarterbacks. You need to be able to you have to get to them. You have to drive them bananas. You have to get them scared. You have to make them make bad decisions, throw across the field, sack them, fumble, do whatever you want. Because you see what Bradley Chubb is doing. I want to see Holland, Elliott, and Ramsey, and especially Howard. They have to start getting takeaways. Like I expect 2 to 3 takeaways from the Raiders on Sunday, and I'll be disappointed if they don't. They need to.
They have Will Levis over there in Tennessee.
Yeah,
but that's the game I'm worried about.
Yeah, but you're worried about that because of Derrick Henry. You're not worried about that because of Will Levis.
Yeah, exactly. I'm worried about our defense against the run until I see something change.
I understand. But there's no reason why they should lose.
Earlier about this, so that's why I'm saying, I don't want to sound like I'm flip-flopping. I'm not.
You're not. You're not.
I'm just saying I wanted to explain, I still think that we have a danger in our run stop. Now, with that secondary back, though, that changes so much. It really does. 100%. It really does on how they can play and go after the ball up front. I mean, they have to play a little more protect when they don't have all their cornerbacks in there, not just let them fly off the handle. And, they had to stay closer to the line. Now they can just go in, do what they want, make it happen, make those hits, stop that running back. It can happen now, without worrying they're going to get past them and take advantage. So, I'm happy. I'm happy with what's going on so far. I'm pretty happy.
I have a good question for you. Right now, take away Ramsey because Ramsey came back and he hasn't been there. Who is the other guy? Because I think you and I believe Ramsey is the glue, and I believe he's such a critical. Right now, who has this on the defense? Who has exceeded your expectations and is your midseason defensive MVP for the Miami Dolphins? And which player has underachieved in your mind and is your bonehead of the defense through the first 9 games of the season?
No, I can't give out a bonehead award.
No. When I say a bonehead, because I want to, but flip into a positive like we always do. Which one, when you came into the season, you had expectations, he's disappointed you?
Yeah.
Relative to anything, and which person has exceeded your
I haven't seen a lot out of Phillips. I haven't seen as much out of Phillips as I wanted to see. But again, our secondary's been hurt, so you can't play these players like you want to, or like the defensive coordinator wants to. He's had to play up to what he's had in front of him. And he even said before the season started there were still a couple areas he wanted to fix up. But, he's trying to do something with he's trying to tie pieces together with players that don't exactly fit to his scheme in some areas right now, in my opinion. And that's why it's been so slow going. And I think after this break, we're going to see a lot of pickups and a lot of different things going positive our way as soon as we turn around. You tell me to give you the award.
I deserve it probably for that comment. Bradley Chubb was interviewed yesterday, and he actually said something which I probably believe. He said he's never in all his years in Denver and so far in Miami, and I haven't seen it yet, Vic Fangio laugh. His goal by the end of the season is to get Vic Fangio laugh. He's seen him maybe smirk, but never laugh. What are your thoughts on having a coach like Mike McDaniel, who is all about laughter, and having a defensive coach who's all about scowls?
I think I love it. I love it. You know why?
Why?
That means he's concentrating on his job. As we get older, our faces turn down naturally. I mean, when I sit still, I have the resting bee face. So, So I'm just saying.
Feed the cat, feed the cheetah.
Yeah, feed the cat. Yeah, get the cat.
Phenomenal. Love Ray. Okay.
So,
I want to ask you something funny. So I personally believe that Jason Sanders is the most unhappy person on this team. Have you happened to notice when's the last time this poor guy kicked a field goal? Like I literally think if the Dolphins could cut and not have to have a kicker to kick field goals, I think they cut the kicker and just go for it on fourth down. Honestly, like when's the last time we actually attempted a field goal? Do you remember?
Maybe it's just because we haven't needed to.
Isn't it phenomenal? Like we don't need, or they're trying to avoid it. I just don't know, but it's actually incredible that we've yet to kick field
Will you
goals.
leave Jason Sanders alone?
I love him. I have to get my jersey before Christmas. It's my own Christmas present to myself. See, I get little cheap pops over here, guys. My daughter just came for a visit. So the next 5 weeks, I'm about to make a stance and tell me why I'm wrong. I know you said I'm worried, but tell me why I'm wrong. The next 5 weeks, when you are and are talking on Fins Bandwagon, heading into Christmas Eve against the Dallas Cowboys, I expect the Dolphins to be 11-3. Tell me why I'm wrong. I expect them. I will be disappointed if they're not. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Okay. So let's run the games down first of all.
Raiders,
we should
16-point
win.
average.
We should win. That makes it 7. Next game.
Jets haven't scored a touchdown, I think, since week 3.
So you figure the Jets we win also.
Yes, both.
So that's that Black Friday game.
Commanders.
You have us as a win.
Titans.
That makes us 10 right there. Titans.
Well, that makes us 9.
That makes us 9.
Yeah,
Titans
6 plus 3 is 9.
would make us 10. But
Yeah,
I have a
so
feeling
stop me
that might
because
be our trap game.
What, is it because it's a night? I know you're worried about the run. You also think because it's prime time?
No, not because it's prime time. I just think it might just be a trap game. Just one of those games that we shouldn't lose. You know what I mean?
And Jets at home.
Jets at home. I like us winning that one too.
What would you heading into that game at Christmas Eve? What would you be happy with? What would you be satisfied with? And what would you be upset with? How many wins? Well, how many wins would give you, like you're saying, this team
If we go in there and we only get 3 more wins and we're only 9 wins by the time we get there, I'd be a little disappointed.
I'll be concerned.
I would be a little disappointed. If we get 4 wins out of 5, I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that because any given Sunday, another team can win. So I don't take nothing away from another team. I don't assume that we're going to beat them.
Okay. Which game, though, if you're saying 4 as an example,
yeah.
Which game? I know you're saying the Titans game is the trap game. Of all the games, which game would you be okay with them potentially losing? Like, which game would you say they gave it their best, but it was a tough game? They did what they could, and they just wasn't their day. Which game?
If I'd say it'd have to be an okay loss, it would be the Jets on the Black Friday at Jets.
I agree with you.
I mean, if you're asking me what game is the hardest, that's the game I think is the hardest. However, I have it in my head that they're going to have troubles with Tennessee. I don't know why.
Don't you think that game, I can just picture this. You on Fins Talk today on that Saturday.
Yeah.
They score 12 to 13 to 15 points a game. How does Tua, Tyreek, Achane, and Waddle put up less than 20 points against them? I understand the defense is great, but how do you not be able to counterpunch Zach Wilson? Unless you can't stop Breece Hall.
They got a good defense.
Yes, but I'm saying the offense. The defense might, but I'm just saying you still can't find a way to put. If the Raiders can put up 16 points against the Jets, how can you not put up 20 points against the Jets? It's a better loss non-conference. These are
yeah. All right.
I know. No, it's a better loss, but that's more of an embarrassing loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I think they need to get to 11 because I want them to feel that they're not stressed heading into those 3 games. Heading into those 3 games against Dallas, against the Ravens, and against the Bills, I want them to know that they've made their playoffs. I
Yeah.
want them to know they've made the playoffs and are fighting for number one in the conference, and they've solidified. Because if they get to 10 wins or 11 wins by the time they get to Christmas Eve, they've won the division. Because if you think about it, we have 6 wins and we're 3 losses, but we've already faced the Eagles, we've already faced the Chiefs. The
We
Bills
have the last 3 games of our schedule are our hardest that we have left.
but the Bills have to go on the road a lot, and they have to go face now the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Yes,
and
they're
Chargers,
gonna, like you
and all
said,
that.
they're gonna be on the road a lot.
And they're going to play teams that put up teams, and they're facing these teams on the road in difficult situations. And I don't think it's going to be easy against the Jets. They struggle we know this at anybody team. No game, even when we face the Patriots, any interconference game, any interdivision game is not easy. You know? So I remember, no, you didn't think it was a cause for pause. You said win all day. You never said cause for pause for Commanders.
No, I couldn't have.
No. And you never would have. I don't think you'd ever say that.
You never know. I've said some crazy things.
Are you? I never had the chance to ask you this question.
Yeah.
When you're watching a football game with the Miami Dolphins, take the last drive as an example.
Mm-hmm.
I was a hard critic. You put me in my place when I needed to be. I was a hard critic of Mike McDaniel and his play calling last year. Do you get frustrated with him throughout games, or do you just trust him? Because getting 25 yards, getting 19 yards, having a $1:45 left on the clock, 2 timeouts, and you start throwing the ball. Like, when you're watching a game, what are you thinking? What are you feeling when he starts to get away from something that's working? What are your thoughts on that?
If you talk about when he abandons the run and just starts
or
passing,
he abandoned what works because he wants to go to his best players, even though something else is.
I just kind of sit back and, that's what's great about football for me is no matter win, lose, or draw, I always like watching my team play, and I get the pure enjoyment from the adrenaline rushes throughout the game. And that's my overall enjoyment, to be totally honest with you.
Okay.
Now, if we get a win, that's just the cherry on top of that ice cream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so for me, I'm ecstatic either way. So
you just look forward to
seeing I'm not a screamer usually. I'm not usually a get up and scream person. I'm usually chill and just kind of chill back and watch the game.
So when they were putting up 70 at home, you're not getting up and cheering, you're not dancing, you're not hollering.
Half of it I get up, half of it I don't.
Let's see what look who decided to join the show. Johnny come lately Scotty. Hank, if we factor our out of work defensive game against the LA for the run, our QS team game of the year, since we are top 5 in run defense, that's how much it's skewed. We're only letting up 90 yards per game rushing. What are your thoughts on that?
I totally understand what he said, what's being said, Scotty.
I can't do that, Scotty. It's impossible.
It's just simple for me. It's not a matter of this or that, what we have or haven't done. I've had a lot of people come and say, well, we did this and we've done that and we've done this and we've done this. Okay, but there's things we haven't done too.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, where we're not stout was on the running game. Trying to figure out why I haven't.
Yeah, I shaved before, and then I also put contacts on it, so people are not used to it. I'm scaring people. No, for me, and I want to just clarify to people. Right now, people complain that we've lost to 3 winning franchises. Let me clarify: we've only lost to 2 winning franchises. Let's clarify that right now, because the Bills aren't a winning franchise. Let's clarify that quickly. And in order to make the playoffs,
now they are.
In order to make the playoffs,
in
order to get to where you need to, it doesn't matter because the goal is to win the game. It doesn't matter who you beat, because all you need is an opportunity to get to that dance and win.
You got to be there and you got to win.
Yeah. So
it's not a participation trophy.
Yeah. So, for example, I'll give you a perspective. So this weekend, after I watched the Dolphins destroy the Raiders, in Montreal, in Canada, there's another league which Cameron Wade came from, a superstar of Miami Dolphins land. There's the Canadian Football League, and there's a championship game. The the Montreal Alouettes, who are my Montreal-based team, finished their season 11-7. They beat the first round of the playoffs. They went to the semis of their conference and faced a team that tied the record for the most wins, who went 16-2. They went into their yard where they had not beaten by the way, you want to hear this, Hank? They had not beaten a winning team in the entire league the entire season. They went in and faced the best team in the playoffs in the semis and beat them by 24 points. And now are going for the championship this Sunday. It doesn't matter who you beat in the regular season. All you need to do is get to that dance, and anything can happen. It happened in Montreal, and they're going to win a championship, and so are our Miami Dolphins. It doesn't matter who you beat. So I don't want to hear this narrative. Screw the narratives. It doesn't matter. Because I'm going to remind people, do you know how many winning teams the St. Louis Rams beat the year they were the greatest show on turf and they beat the Titans in the Super Bowl? Do you know how many winning teams they beat in the regular season, Hank?
How many? Yeah, and how many other
0.
times? How many other times in NFL history has that happened?
0. It doesn't matter. All I have to do is have once. By the way, once, and you see this 0? Yeah, it only happened once.
Yeah.
And you know who else always done something once? The Miami Dolphins with the perfect season. Things can happen more. Things happen once. Dolphins have a tendency to do things.
There are once only times that happen.
Yes, but all I want to tell you, that's right. It's all about wins and losses. See this buddy here? This is a guy who was just chatting with me. He's works for one of my suppliers. Greatest guy. I heckle him about his basketball team. He's a big Lakers fan. I heckle him. He's a big b-ball fan. Lives in Durham, North Carolina. Phenomenal guy. What's up, friend? I had to give him a shout out there. All I could say is I don't care.
Fins up.
All I could say is that the Dolphins have to just make the playoffs, win the AFC East, have a home playoff game so you could score me a ticket so I can come down and see that game with you. That's all that matters, guys. The bandwagon is back. It got tuned up. It got a new paint job. I'm happy. I'm smiling. I'm excited. I've already given my prediction on Battered Fins fans last night because I was sucked into it. Day Chain's going to score 3 touchdowns, and we are going to beat the Las Vegas Raiders 49-10. You heard it here first.
What?
49-10.
Man, you better stay away from that bird feeder.
No, 49-10. Okay?
Ooh.
They are going to rock that stadium hard.
I hope you're right. I would.
They're going to rock that stadium hard on Sunday.
Hey, from your lips to God's
They're
ears.
facing Aiden O'Connell. Okay, Aiden freaking O'Connell. If they don't put a stamp on this game, honestly the Miami Dolphins have hard knocks there, right? Tua with the cornrows, they're hip, they're excited, they're healthiest as they're ever going to be going back to Miami. They're going to be raring to go. They know how the narrative. They're no longer you don't go turn on NFL Live, you don't turn on all these shows and they're talking about Miami Dolphins like they were for the first 6-7 weeks of the season.
I was sick in bed and I came to the same conclusion. You know what I mean? I wasn't watching NFL all this and all that, but I still came to the same conclusion. I was like, we haven't really beaten anybody yet.
I don't care. We've beaten 6 teams. It doesn't matter.
Hold on a minute. Before you fire the shots, but we beat 6 NFL teams, though.
Exactly.
So, and like I said, any given Sunday, any team,
Bengals,
can win. So I don't believe in this. This team's easy, that team's easy, and we don't face anybody that's just super easy.
No.
One of the worst teams we face is the Las Vegas Raiders, in my opinion. I think the Jets are better than the Raiders. I think the Jets, for everybody out there, I think they're better than Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys are better than them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Baltimore Ravens are better than the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But what does that mean?
You're right, Scotty. Yeah. They only beaten one team, winning team, which is the Jaguars. They beat the Jaguars. That was it.
Yeah.
But no, all I'm going to say is all you have to do is win games because trust me, we put up 70. Yes, we put up 40. We put up the Bills at home, where we're a phenomenal team at home. I believe now we have an advantage of being playing at home. There's a sense of fear coming into Miami. Like we're the same way it used to feel like in Buffalo, like it feels like in Philly, like it feels like in Arrowhead. There's a sense of comfort. Hey, last week, no one thought CJ Stroud was going to go down and beat Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals any given Sunday. How the 49ers lose 3 in a row, go
Well,
up
the
to Jacksonville.
Patriots beat the Bills. Come
Exactly.
on.
How they went across country, the 49ers, after losing 3 in a row, and then put the stomp on the Jaguars. Anything can happen any given Sunday. What I'm trying to say is the Miami Dolphins have shown that they don't play down to their competition. That's what I'm trying to say. So they're the kind of team that when they face these kinds of teams, they need to put their stamp on it. They need to win these football games. I believe Hard Knocks.
I think we're going to see a lot of wins coming our way.
And I think Hard Knocks is actually a good thing for them because I don't think they want to be embarrassed where they have to eat that crow on HBO. I think they want to come in with that swagger. Like that's going to give them a pizzazz. Like someone like a Tyreek, someone like a Christian Wilkins is going to eat this up. Like they're going to eat it up. It's going to motivate them. Mike McDaniel is a camera junkie. He loves it. Like yesterday, someone asked him, "What's the story on Devon A-Chain?" You know what his answer was to that reporter? Why you wanted him for fantasy this Sunday? Like who? What kind of coach? Like that's my point. They have a swagger, and that's what was missing last Sunday. There was a lack of swag 2 Sundays ago. There was a lack of swagger, and I think they're going to get it back. I just truly believe this is their opportunity. They need to get. What's up, Daniel? This is their opportunity to finally show what they're made out of. And I believe this weekend you're going there on the bright line and you're going to be smiling in bright yellow and you're going to have a phenomenal time with the bright sun shining on you in the shade. Or they're going to be toasting on the other sideline. And I'm telling you, your Miami Dolphins are going to remind people that they are the greatest show on surf and that you're going to have to come up with some sort of nickname when your defense gives up 10 points. The Aiden O'Connell and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Remember, you got Eichenberg on that line.
I need him on that line. As Jack Nichols, as Colonel Jessup said on A Few Good Men, you want him on that line. You need him on that line because, ironically, when he's been on that line, the line has been okay. And
hey,
honestly,
you know what? You know what's ironic?
Hmm?
You know what's even more ironic than that? I was in Q Company. Quebec Company, which was the ground defense force for the leeward side in Cuba on that very base.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Except where they actually filmed it was in California, but when they initially showed the fence line with the tower, that's Cuba.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. Any final words? Because I think we've revving these people up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm getting – Scotty's all mad at me again.
Oh, Scotty's the best. Scotty just likes to egg people on. Honestly, the people are confused. I'm not wearing glasses. I have very small eyes, so people are confused. Like, I don't even have. People always say I have small eyes. It's for a big face. I have small eyes. It's just I look a little different today. People are confused.
Yeah, it's that bird feeder.
Yeah, I know. I love that bird feeder. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. The second half of the season, I think, is going to be more fun.
Hey, do me a favor and mention our sponsor again.
I'm going to in a moment. I haven't finished the show yet. I'm just saying the second half of the season, I think, is going to be better than the first half. Why do I say that? Is because our offense showed up in the first half. Our defense has started to show up right before the end of the first half, and now both are going to show up in the second half. And I believe that the Miami Dolphins are going to have a better second half, and that Tua is going to win MVP. Tyreek's going to win Offensive Player of the Year and over 2,000 yards. And this is going to be a top 5 defense and a top 3 offense. You heard it here first. I'm on the bandwagon. I love my new car. It's been tuned up, revved up. It makes a beautiful sound, just like Hank's
It only backfires every other beat now, right?
No, it only backfires on the postgame show. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as Hank is reminding me, guys, don't forget to check out Kingswear. They're on University Drive in Davie, Florida. Check them out on caneswear.com. If you don't live in Miami or an area of Florida near Davie, they have phenomenal stuff of Miami Dolphins, Miami Marlins, Inter Miami, Miami Heat, Florida Panthers. Anyone you want to check out, they have great stuff. I wear all of this from here to here to here. They have phenomenal stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Any last words, Pops?
Fins up.
Fins up, everybody.